Separated, Sarissa, May, and Andang have witnessed the aftermath of a massacre of an encampment of hillmen, and are beginning the long way back to the refugees in the cave. Meanwhile, Pineleaf and Karvett have begun a preliminary mapping of the tunnels to discover what else lies in the cave system.
I'm speechless. Okay, so where last we left off, yeah, so Andang, May, and Sarissa are you're in the swamp that at the base of the cliffside, just beneath the cave system. And there was a buzzing in the air, and all of those flies that had been sort of awakened by your nighttime jaunt are now buzzing all around the swamp in front of you. Any thoughts on that? I don't think I gave you much of a chance to react before we ended last session.
Nope, that was pretty much where you ended.
Alright, so yeah, because it was about a 3-hour journey from where you are, so it's sunrise basically. Sky's painted red, orange, purple, sun is coming up. It's actually, it would be casting sort of the shadow over the swamp, which I guess would make it even more spooky. You just see these shifting shapes with the buzzing noise and this shadow.
So I'm assuming that there's no obvious way around them to where we need to go back to the camp.
You could push through the swamps to the... Because you had crossed the swamp further up before to get there, where it wasn't so bad. And, you know, there wasn't a cliff there, it was level ground, and you had to climb up the cliff through the forest.
Yeah, we were looking for a more level place to get back up.
Well, let's get away from these bugs, regardless of what we need to do.
Okay, so you're going to try to push through the swamp without attracting the attention of the bugs.
Let's go with that. Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. Who's leading the group?
Not me.
Actually, hold on. Before we do anything, Andang and Sarissa, give me vitality checks at a -1 penalty, because you've gone the whole night without sleeping.
Right.
So we'll see how fatigued you are. Okay. You pulled an all-nighter, but your senses are still about you. Alright, so who's leading the party?
The champion, of course.
Alright. Give me either a tactics or a stealth roll for how you want to get past the... Okay. So you probably try to be, you're exaggerating how stealthy you're trying to be, not realizing that when you bring up your foot to do the sneaky tiptoe walk, you're actually making splashes in the swamp. And so the flies are attracted by movement and start following you. They're not doing anything. They're just sort of buzzing through these clouds. The large nasty ones aren't really following you. These are just sort of the midges. They might be baby flies. You don't know. They're just tiny animals. If one of you wants to try doing a beast lore check, you might learn more.
Oh, let's just go away. Let's just go away.
Let's just keep going and hope that they lose interest.
Okay, so I'm going to roll now. Ooh, okay. So you progress through the
Don't
swamp.
like that noise.
Which noise?
That ooh that you made. I don't like that sound.
As you are progressing through the swamp, the flies. It's the sort of they seem particularly fascinated by the splashes for some reason. Uh, you start to notice that they'll start to lose interest. They'll hear a splash and then sort of come back. They'll lose interest. There's another splash and they start to come back. Andang thinks that the sound of the splashes is masking his footsteps, apparently, so he's not doing anything different. And so after a while, the cliffs behind you, you don't see any of the large nasty bugs. The midges are still with you, though. And you start to notice there's sort of like, they're kind of like lights in the water. But they're not, you don't know if it's just a trick of the light, if it's a reflection. But you just start noticing like little twinkles in the water.
Well, let's keep going.
Well, that's
But
Okay.
there might be something shiny in the water. I have to check it out.
Okay. So you're gonna move closer to one of the lights, the twinkles. Yes. Okay. When you get there, there isn't actually anything. Like you're looking down in the water. You try swirling your hands. There's nothing there. But then you'll notice like a flash out from the corner of your eye where it's twinkling again. Are you going to keep following the twinkles?
So, May, I don't know where Sarissa's going, but let's just keep going on our path and get out of here.
Is Pineleaf with us? Pineleaf is with us, right?
Pineleaf is not with you.
Guys.
Okay,
No,
he's
I'm not
still
going to
having
keep
dreams.
following the twinkles.
Okay. Come on,
Where is
Sarissa.
he?
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay. So Sarissa, like from what sort of things do you keep in your inventory?
I have my inventory on my character sheet.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So I was hoping you'd have a container of some sort. I guess so. If with your wits check, I guess if you sort of like you scoop up the water, you'll notice that sometimes you'll see like the glint inside the water that's cupped in your hands. It's as though the water itself is sparkling.
Oh, well, that's not nearly as fascinating. I'm pretty sure I can't sell that.
Okay, so we're going to continue then?
Yeah, I'm going to go with them.
Okay. As you proceed, you're getting closer to the tree line from the forest that you had been through. And there seems to be like a mist above the surface. The flies have left. They don't like the mist. Any investigation anyone wants to do? The water is still sparkling at intervals. That hasn't changed.
I want to make sure that it's not a danger of some kind to us.
Okay. What did you have in mind? Well, what are you going to do? What is Andang, the character, going to do to try and determine if it's dangerous?
I would be trying to just see if by sight if I could see that it's dangerous, but I'm still going to be walking and trying to stay kind of away from the mist unless I have to go through it.
It's hanging over the swamp, but behind you is where there's no mist.
Okay.
This is early morning, so it could be perfectly normal. And if you're just looking, it looks like mist.
I was going to be thinking that until the GM said it, so now I'm not so sure. I don't know. Let's keep going.
I mean, you could do a Shadow Lore check, maybe, and see if this description matches with anything that you've studied. Okay, so what exactly would you have learned? So you spent time with the Rangers, right?
Yep.
Those were your formative years, or more recently?
More recently, I definitely didn't grow up with them.
Okay, so what exactly would they have taught you? Or I
Everything
should
that
rephrase.
they
What exactly did they
possibly,
teach you?
everything that those particular rangers would have known. And so it'd probably include a little bit of shadow lore, but just more general, like, here are things you need to look out for, like if you see this Nazgul, run the heck away, kind of stuff, like
Okay.
general ranger-y type guides.
Well, okay, so you don't say, or you don't see any Nazgul for one.
Thank goodness.
For some reason, and you're not sure why, but as you think about the mist, which just looks like perfectly ordinary morning mist, for some reason you think back to the stories that the Rangers would tell about the fields of Forest and how the dead now walk over the misty fields.
Okay, double time, everybody. Let's get through here real quickly.
And why are we trying to hurry?
Just trust me, there's something from my past that I know might be going on right now.
Right, so you're hurrying through the swamp, still splashing, of course.
And why are
Waters
you
are still
walking
flickering.
like that?
Because I'm sneaking.
No, you're not sneaky.
We've had this
An
argument
inexplicable
before. I
wind
totally am sneaky.
starts blowing through. As you proceed, you see a hobbit.
What?
What?
And it turns around, and it's Pine Leaf.
What?
Why would you be so surprised? Maybe she came to go look for you. Okay.
I roll Shadow
Nothing.
Lord to inspect this.
You have been drunk kind of a long time.
As you look closer, Anding, you notice that you can see through this hobbit.
Okay,
So-
triple time, everybody. Let's.
So don't worry, Pine Leaf, you're not actually there.
Oh, a translucent hobbit.
Yeah. It seems like it's...
that's- Pine Leaf. How come we can see through Pine Leaf? Is Pine Leaf a ghost? Did something happen to the camp?
I don't know, but we better get
We
back.
should probably get back to the cave and find out what's going on.
Given what happened to the last camp of hillmen you were at, I feel that would be...
Oh God.
Good point.
And now you see that Pine Leaf is a ghost. Okay, so if you're just pushing past, is anyone going to try to interact with Pine Leaf, or...
I'm getting the heck out of here.
Okay. So if if everyone's just
I'm going to
running
go
past-
closer to the Pine Leaf and see if I can attract her attention.
Yeah, you definitely attract her attention. She seems to be trying to say something to you. Her eyes are very worried, but it's like as she's speaking, there's no noise.
I'm gonna rush back and try to get Sarissa to get out of here.
But just give me a minute. I'm trying to figure
I
out
wanna
what she's
too.
trying
I'm
to
with
say
Sarissa.
because
I want to go see what's going on with this ghosty Pine Leaf.
So cue some more of this nonsense sign language thing as I try to make myself understood.
If you want to use an insight check, you can try to intuit, maybe based on the expressions and sort of like the gestures, maybe even trying to read the lips of this apparition to understand what it's trying to say. Okay. Okay. So, Sarissa, you're sitting there puzzled, and then you realize that you're like sort of you start like talking to the apparition, but you realize that you're trying to use some of the butchered Hillman language, and then realize your mistake because Pineleaf doesn't speak that. But May, you can tell that it's not. It doesn't seem to be. There's something off about this pine leaf. It's as though someone was trying to make a ghost out of pine leaf, but had never actually met pine leaf. And so, like the messages, the words, they're all saying things like "Go back, go no further, don't come anywhere near us."
Well, that's pretty clear.
I look down.
But there's something off about that warning.
I look down.
It's like the sort of like Han Solo, like everything's fine on the bridge. No need to come investigate.
All right.
Weapons malfunction. It's like that kind of warning to you.
I look down his feet and say they aren't hairy. Let's go.
No.
There's no hair on the top of his feet. Let's get out of here. Those aren't pine leaves.
I think there's something going on here. No, I mean, first of all, what's a ghost going to do? Come on, Ending. Now.
Are you a
Bag
courageous
up.
champion, or are you a coward? Come on.
Come on, you can stand. You can stand behind Terry, Sarissa, and I.
Just remember, when we're
You'll
all
be okay.
ghosts like that, I voted against this.
So,
well, you're welcome to go get lost in the swamp on your own.
what do you think we try to walk past this apparition, Sarissa?
Okay, but which direction do you think we should go? I mean, which direction does she seem to be warning us off of the most?
I assume it's whatever's behind her.
Yeah, and she's standing between
She's sort
you and
She's sort of
the
barring
tree.
the way. She's doing a "you cannot pass" thing.
Right.
Okay, well then obviously we have
It's
to
not
go
so much
past
a "you cannot pass" as a "please don't pass."
Please don't pass. Okay.
I mean, like she's not. I mean, obviously she couldn't stop you.
But I don't think this is actually Pine Leaf. I mean, I just don't
Right.
think this is Pine Leaf. I don't think this is Pine Leaf trying to like reach us, ESP wise. I think this is like a conjured up something to try to get us to go away, which makes me want to go in and find out what's going on.
Yes.
Because I'm still head up about that other person that we didn't go after.
Right. And we will.
Right.
We're just going to try and
Well,
get
let's
someone
go.
who can actually track through the woods to do it.
Right. And I have my loot with me, I believe. So, if somebody gets hurt, I can do something about that, hopefully. And dang.
I don't know. A swamp isn't exactly the most comfortable place to bring a loot.
I know the humidity kills it, right? Yeah. I have to keep retuning it all the time.
I totally agree, non-hairy foot pine leaf.
Yeah, that's just the kind of thing this apparition would say, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't bring your
Kinda
loot.
It's okay. I'm okay. I fell over for a minute, but I'm okay.
The ground's not so secure. It's wet out in places. You gotta look out for that, Sarissa.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
I'm
let's-
distracted looking. Are you?
So let's not go that way, and let's get out of here.
No,
Not go
no.
which
we
way?
need to-
No.
We're going to go see what the hobbit's trying to warn us off of. Because obviously, if somebody has conjured up a fake hobbit ghost to try and warn us, then we have to go
Right.
investigate.
Right. Absolutely.
What kind of party did
Now,
I
Andy,
get
if you want to go
myself
on
in
back,
here?
if you want to go back and wake up Pine Leaf or find Pine Leaf, that's fine. Good luck finding the camp, but I'm with Sarissa. I want to go forward.
This is a tough choice, because I'm actually thinking about leaving the party and going over towards Pine Leaf. But that
Going
would
over
be
towards what?
horrible.
Sleeping pine leaf or
Which pine leaf? Yeah.
Sleeping pine leaf. But that would be a horrible idea.
that would be a horrible idea.
If you want to go towards the encampment, that's past the Hobbit, which is the same direction that May and Sarissa want to go.
Ah.
Because to get back to the encampment, you have to go to the tree line and then find your way through the forest somehow to get back to the cave. The alternative would be going back the way you came, trying to face those bugs, and scaling the sheer cliff face again. Which you're free to do if you'd like.
Thank you, GM. We
Somehow that seems like an attractive offer right now.
Yeah, well, I'm too tired to go scaling a cliff, and I'm pretty sure that anything is too heavy to go back up that way.
let's carefully go and see what this hobbit's warning us of.
Good. Good choice. I like that.
It's hard to think at that high of a level for me, but I made it there eventually.
Good man, Andang. Okay, you go first then.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Okay.
I like how wits is his lowest attribute.
Is that what you wanted me to roll?
Oh no. Just
Okay,
when
just
you're saying it's hard for you to. Yeah. Okay. So as you push past, like the apparition sort of like it tries to like reach out and grab one of your arms, but it just phases through because it's not solid.
Pineleaf, you need to eat more.
I'm pretty sure that Pineleaf does not have any trouble with food. But don't
Yeah,
tell her I
really.
said that.
So this clearly isn't Pineleaf.
Right.
And so the pine leaf apparition seems sort of fixed in place. It's not coming with you or disappearing. It seems to just be there as you keep glancing back.
Is it kind of repeating the same message over and over again, just as if it's not really noticing that we're not there anymore?
Yeah, but I
Like
mean,
a robot?
it's facing you, but yeah, like the general pattern of behavior hasn't changed at all.
Even NPCs out of real players don't do anything.
So we can just keep going then, because I mean, it's not like I don't think this thing's going to do anything to us.
Yeah, I'm continuing to lead the party through
Okay.
the swamp.
He's leading, right?
Yes.
Are you still splashing?
No.
Oh, okay. You're
I've
just
figured
splashing.
we're not being stealthy anymore. We're just trying to get through this thing.
only in this game can one stop splashing because we're no longer trying to be stealthy. So you make it to the tree line. You're out of the swamp. The sparkly water and the mist is behind you, and now you're just in the forest. Do you have a strategy on how you want to get through the forest? Right now, all you know is the swamp is to your back.
As quickly as possible without being easily ambushed.
Okay, so who's going to be the primary navigator, I guess? Or who thinks that they can remember the way to go to get to the cave?
Sarissa writes everything down.
Yeah, I think Sarissa is probably the most likely.
It was
I
dark.
don't have any faith in
and
my own.
Okay, so you're just going to hope for the best and make it through the cave?
Yeah, random direction and trust in luck.
No.
Sounds good. Someone give an exploration check then.
There we go. There's my roll. Trusting in luck.
I feel like to make use of that means you've had bad luck, which means I need an exploration roll to know where you end up, basically. That's your trusting in fate.
just closed my character sheet. Why did I do that?
So for those of you following at home, basically the way that we do exploration, in case I haven't explained it before, if you're joining for the first time, I basically set up.
Of course, the party would do that.
A table of locations where the players could feasibly end up for each sort of sub-location, and so when they roll an exploration roll, they're basically rolling to see where on that table they end up.
Oh my goodness.
Based on this
two
roll,
rolls are actually not mutually exclusive.
We're gonna end up back on top of the cliff somehow. I don't even know that, but it's gonna happen.
So you proceed through the forest. You remember something vaguely. You think that they were trying to head east, or maybe they were heading north, or somewhere in between.
That's assuming I know which way is east and north, because I'm not a navigator.
Stop helping. Stop.
Maybe at some point you started heading south. Like you said, it was at night. You were all tired. You haven't slept since then. So eventually you make your way to the undergrowth starts becoming a little bit more dense. The trees start getting a little bit tighter together. And if you pause, the ground seems to be shaking.
Well, that's new.
That's not good.
I mean, not like earthquake level, but just sort of every now and again there'll be like a thump.
Still not good.
Thump.
Pineleaf took my advice.
Which advice?
To eat more.
So right now you don't see anything. If you'd like to try investigating the trees, the ground, listening to the noises, and if you can detect anything, or if you want to try.
How about moving away from the noises? That sounds like a good idea.
Okay. Give a survival roll. To basically detect which way the noises are coming from, and then go the opposite direction. Okay. Ending roll.
So I'm keeping mine. Yeah.
I will be merciful this once. If we go with Sarissa's roll, you wind up going towards the direction of the noises.
I'm definitely leading.
Well, yes, Ending, you definitely are leading. So you you proceed through the trees. You feel like the direction is coming from sort of deeper in the direction that you were going. So you start backtracking, and eventually you find your way. Before you is a misty bank, and the ground starts to get a little bit more marshy underfoot.
Great. I'm gonna do a navigation check to see if we can maybe figure out the right way to go.
Okay. Where were these rolls when you were trying to do this in the middle of the night?
Oh my goodness.
What happens when Carv's not here?
Yeah. So, you try looking for the sun, but
the sun, we know where the sun is.
Okay. Yeah. So you know which direction east is. Are you going to just start heading in that direction? You'll be basically following the tree line.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Let's go.
Not go wrong.
It'll be awesome.
All right. So
Got
you
elf eyes that can see everything. We're fine.
Right. That's right.
you follow the tree line. So basically and you're following it east. So basically the trees are on your left and the mist and the swamp are on your right. And as you keep going, eventually the elevation starts to pick up, but then basically you're sloping back down. And so you kind of have to go into the forest to keep going up. But the mist is starting to creep into the, as you proceed, the mist is starting to move from the swamp sort of into the forest as well. Do you want to continue on your current path, or turn into the forest, or go back the way you came?
Isn't the cave in the forest?
The cave is in the forest.
I remember that much at least.
Yeah. Let's see if Elf Eyes can navigate better than any of us.
All right. Should I do a What should I do? A navigation check?
Give me an exploration check. 'Cause
Exploration.
Premise will be you're starting from a different location and you still don't really know where in the forest you're trying to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
You're ending. Yes.
So you proceed
Hey,
to the
elf.
forest.
Because elf.
Yeah, and you're starting to wonder why Ending was having such a hard time. I guess you can see
But I
farther.
won't say anything because the guy caught me. Come on. I mean, I'm still, I'm not going to say
Twice.
anything.
Twice.
Twice. He caught me
Twice.
twice. I'm going to wonder, but I'm not going to say anything.
He caught you twice? That's how you
Yes.
remember things?
I got you.
No, he caught her once. He didn't catch her the other time.
Oh, I fell on you the other time.
I got
So
her
you kinda
twice.
caught me. You buffered my fall.
I totally caught her twice.
Oh, okay,
No,
good.
not even. You buffered her fall once, and she fell right in front of you the second time.
You turned around and laughed at her.
Remember, vocally, I said that I helped her twice. If you remember.
Wow.
So I, in my mind, maybe not so much helped her, but in her mind, I've convinced her that I've helped her twice.
Then he caught me twice. That's right. That's
I'm
right.
so proud.
Maybe May's the one who needs to sleep. Anyway, she's doing a fine job of just
Definitely.
proceeding through the forest. You're starting to notice, since you haven't slept, it's sort of still all fresh in your mind, kind of. Just like you remember the impressions that, like, the trees and just sort of your natural connection. And so as you proceed, you come to this really familiar grove of trees that was right before the cave, and even Sarissa and Anding, the two humans, you can see the cave through this patch of trees. You just have to go through them. But then you start hearing voices in the trees, and they sound very familiar. They're saying things like, "You left us behind, and you didn't even say goodbye. Would you like to keep listening and investigating, or are you just going to push through?"
Well, that's new.
They sound like, like people voices.
I'm guessing that's
They
another
sound-
Carve or
The
Pine Leaf.
voices
or something
sound
like
vaguely
that.
familiar.
I'm guessing that's Carve or Pine Leaf or the village guy or his mom. One of them. What do you want to? What does our party want to do? I don't care either way. I'm kind of 50-50, but I just at this point we've been adventuring so long without sleep. I kind of just want to get back.
Yeah. I think that's probably not a bad idea. I would like to go reassure myself that Pine Leaf is whole and complete and
Yeah.
looking right.
Make sure that Pine Leaf is okay. Plus, we have to let them know about the other camp.
So the voices are still going on, saying things like that. Can you all give a wits check? I want to see if you recognize the voices.
Hold on. I'm having wits check.
Yes.
It's under might, under attributes, near the top.
Up top, yeah, it's up top right now. I do remember that.
Okay. Ending and Sarissa, they sound, you don't actively know what the voices are, but there's just that tickle in the back of your mind that you should remember what the voices are. Actually, now that I think about it, I shouldn't have made you roll. You don't know who the voices are. Because May, you recognize the voices as belonging to Arethair, Relinial, and Terry Adler. So those rolls actually worked out pretty well.
Wow! Wow. Hmm. So I've told Service and Dang this, right?
Do
That's
they
up to you.
know
I'm a little
who?
stunned.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
we know who those
We
people
met
are.
them.
they met him. Yeah. And they know that there are previous
We met at Trestlebridge.
previous
when we fought.
companions.
You met the current group at Trestlebridge. Aerithir, Erliniel, and Terry Edwin were not with them at the time.
They were still in Trestlebridge, though.
Yeah.
We crossed paths briefly.
At some point, we had to have crossed
Okay.
paths.
So maybe you crossed paths, but maybe didn't.
We don't
get
know
this-
their story,
Yeah.
really.
Right.
Okay. So up to you, Nick. What do you do?
I don't know. um, I mean, do I understand what they're saying?
Yeah.
Or am
Oh
I
yeah.
just-
You all understand what they're saying. It's sort of like Pine Leaf's mouthing was just sort of on loop. They're just voices that are just like, you
Oh,
betrayed us. You left us alone. How could you do such a thing? You didn't even say goodbye.
oh my goodness.
You left us behind.
Something's
Where did you
weird,
go?
guys. This is really strange. This is like something's like I don't know. Is something reading my mind, or it's like there's things being created out of like memories or stuff from our heads that I don't know. I mean, my tendency is to, given the mechanicness of it, I mean, I feel like just ignoring it, but I don't know if that's a good idea. What do you guys think?
Doing nothing is always an option.
Yeah.
I've
Yes.
heard stories like this from the Rangers about a place far off in another forest somewhere. But things didn't end well when they went to investigate, so I think we should really just get back to the camp.
All right.
Alright. So as you push past this group of trees, leaving the voices behind, May, you pick up sort of like the last thing you hear is the fire burns. And then you're out of the forest, and you're in the clearing before the cave. There's nothing here.
That makes me wonder if something's happening back in Trestlebridge. I don't know. I mean, I wish Carv was here.
So do I. Don't worry.
Well, let's go back. We need to go back to the camp. We need to
Yeah.
go back to. I want to go
They're
back to
gonna
the
be
camp. I want to
wondering
find
where the
Pine
heck
Leaf.
we were. And we
Yeah,
have
and I
to
wanna
maybe
find
pave our way of good justice to be able to stay there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
This gets better and better. Alright, so you step into the cave.
I hate when he says stuff like that.
Alright.
You too.
Okay, well, sorry, Pine Leaf. Waiting a little bit longer before we get to you. Real Pine Leaf.
Oh, I don't worry. This is amusing.
So the
He's
three of
been
you
enjoying
step.
this the whole time. He's just
He's-
casually watching.
He's enjoying this as vengeance for the body bag.
Yep. This is vengeance for the body bag.
Look at all of this stuff happening to other players this time.
The chat room said, "What did you expect after?" This was said when we saw Pineleaf in corporeal form, and they said, "What did you expect after he started the whole journey in a body bag?"
So you step into the cave and realize that it's dark inside the cave.
Well, it
Do
was
any of
dark
you
inside the
have
cave.
torches? Or anything that would make a light?
Didn't we have a
So
torch? What did we
there
do?
were no torches on our way in that people might have left.
Well, the first time that you went through, the hillmen had torches. When you came out, Karv had the torch, but Karv's not with you now.
Where
we
is
can't see
Carv?
Carve anywhere.
Mm, Uh,
We should be
May,
able to see some
if
signs
you want to
of
try
Carv.
using wits to see if you can peer into the darkness and see anything, you can try.
How good is the night vision of elves?
Really good.
Better than the humans.
But probably requires starlight in order to operate well.
I would imagine.
Ooh, that's an interesting premise.
It's not really night anymore, though. It's dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
inside the
That is weird.
cave,
Oh yeah, she could lead us in the dark.
The question is whether she could see in the dark in a cave, or does she require starlight in order to have... Yeah, just a question.
Let's write a letter to Christopher Tolkien,
Yeah.
and in 6 short weeks we would know the answer.
Because we will be shut down for some sort of copyright infringement. Knowing the Tolkien estate. I mean, so just give me a wits check to see, just naturally, if you can see anything.
Am I doing that? I'm doing a wits check.
Yeah. Okay. You can see into the entryway where the light's filtering in.
Right.
You can sort of make out there's like scratchings of something on the wall. If you want to go investigate that further.
Yeah, I definitely do want to investigate that further.
So.
What am I rolling?
Oh, nothing. You can see it's in like where the light's filtering in.
Okay.
So as you look closer, what appears to be like just dried mud caked on the walls, there's actually like someone had taken a finger or a piece of charcoal or something and had just sort of written on the wall. There's just all sorts of questions about who's related to who. There's something that by the rune spelling is presumably supposed to mean Fjall, and then there's like a line drawn, and then there's like another circle with the runes. There's some sort of spelling of Biana. And then there's like a crude sketch of the 7 stars in a line with a broken crown above symbol. And then there's a line drawn from that to the 7 stars in a circle around the broken crown symbol. And then there's like a big question mark in the middle. And so you can probably intuit that this was either Karv or Pineleaf. Someone from your party who knows all of these details is trying to sit here and work it out.
So is this like a fresco in a golem
it's
style?
not high. It's not very high off the ground, right? I mean, we could probably tell who it was by
Yeah.
how far off the ground it is, right? I'm betting it was Karv, actually.
I mean, the last time you saw Karv, he was posted in front of the cave with the torch. So
Right.
And those
That would
weren't
be-
there last time.
that would be a reasonable assumption. Well, on the other hand, you weren't looking last time. But yeah, so beyond what you can see in the entrance, you don't see, there's just darkness as the tunnel continues.
Okay.
Like there are tracks on the ground, but you aren't. Let me double check before I continue with that sentence. Yeah, you aren't skilled enough with like tracking to know
No,
whether
I know.
they're fresh or whose they belong to.
Yeah, I don't feel confident to do anything further than what I've done in terms of just reporting what I'm seeing. Actually, none of us are really very good at that.
Yeah.
Is Pineleaf good at tracking? Pineleaf's probably good at tracking.
-1 in survival. Yeah.
Can I check my friends list?
Karv is the only one with any points in survival.
Can I check my friends list to see if Karv's online?
Yeah. You check your friends list, and Karv is not online, I guess. But it's ambiguous, in the way that the friends system for Tales of the Free Folk works. Either something horrible has happened to him, or he's offline.
That's great.
He's either been permabanned or he's offline. Either way, you can't send him a tell, if that's what you were going for.
That wasn't where I was going, but thanks for the idea. I want to send a tell to Pineleaf.
Yeah. What would you try to say to Pineleaf?
I would try to ask him if his feet are hairy first.
Just to make sure it's him.
Her.
Make sure it's him.
Her.
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 Make sure it's her.
Make sure it's her.
Golly.
Alright, so Pineleaf, we're cutting to you now. You're deeper within the tunnel as we know, and you have a torch.
All right.
Karv has basically, he's gone down a little bit into one of the tunnels. He wants to investigate further, but he didn't want to bring the torch in case it would startle whatever's in there. Because he can see reasonably well He's not going too far down. You can see from the light filtered through the torch.
Right.
And suddenly, in your mind, you just start having this question: are my feet hairy?
That's my answer. Huh?
Actually, you know what? It's in that same voice that you've been hearing from your dreams. We'll say.
It's definitely still, huh?
All right. So yeah, Andang, you just feel this sense of confusion after you think about what you would ask Pine Leaf.
That would be just like Piney to respond that way. I'm going to send a command tell, since we now know how tells work, saying to go down the hall in search of your friends with a torch.
All right.
Down
So
the
there's no
main
sending a
entrance.
command. So in universe, all you're doing is just thinking about what you would like to ask Pine Leaf.
Yes.
So Pine Leaf, you hear that voice in your mind again. Like, what did you say, Andang? Sorry.
To go down the main hall with the torch in search of your friends, they might need your help.
Okay.
Just kind of putting this doubt in his mind.
Yeah. So you hear that neutral, like the voice of the Stattle Watch saying, you know, go down the main tunnel with the torch. Your friends might need you.
Well, since the friend I'm currently with is Karvett, who is going down the hall and needs the light that I'm providing, I can't see a reason why I would want to follow this fancy.
We're kind of lost without Carve, aren't we? Let's go have pie.
So Andang, you get this feeling of just rejection.
I checked my friends
Aw.
list.
It
to make
reminds
sure that
it
we're
reminds
still
you of that time you were trying to hit on that one ranger chick. And she just totally shut you down.
literally the one.
The one
ranger
leaning
chick.
against the wall.
Or even we'll just go even further. There was an elf who came and was like dwelling among the rangers for a while. Seemed to be looking for someone, and you tried hitting on her, and she just totally shut you down.
It's really dark
Poor
in here.
Aww. Aww.
So, what are
Well,
you
our
gonna try to
options
do?
are that we can either go in there and try and figure out the way on our own, or we wait for the hillmen to come back with torches and have to explain ourselves.
Yeah.
And I don't really like that option, so let's go see if we can figure it out on our own.
I agree that we should go see it out, but just in case, start practicing your hand gestures, Terry. Sarissa.
I don't know who that Terry person is.
Sarissa. Well, there was this elf once, and
Well, you kind of sound alike, so it's hard for us to.
Actually, she might just be outside. You could hear her voice earlier. So
That's right.
So you're just
Her
gonna
voice was just outside, so we were kind of thinking about her.
you're just walking into the darkness then?
Yes, we're gonna walk into the darkness.
Not
using
even
our
like-
hands along the wall to try.
I
I
to
don't think we have.
can-
We don't have anything that we can light, do we?
No.
Doesn't look like it.
We could go out and make a fire and then try to come back in.
Do we have anything to make a fire with? Because I don't carry.
Carv is
steel.
kind of the person who has
I
those
think we'd
tools.
probably start a forest fire.
Carv.
That's why I kind of want to say you do have the materials to start a fire. Just because I want you.
I know I personally
Right.
don't carry that stuff.
Carv would
I
have
know, I
been the
don't.
person in our group at this point, I think, that would be carrying the
Yeah.
fire materials.
Of course,
Where is
Andang's
Carv
been
gone?
with the Rangers.
I'm reading from Carv's character sheet right now. The second item in his inventory is backpack full of survival stuff. Parentheses. Cram, flint, rope, etc.
Yeah, see? Yeah, he's a dude. He's the dude. He abides.
Yeah, so you're just gonna feel along the walls then?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't
Are you
really. I don't think
choosing?
I can see in this kind of darkness.
Are you choosing one wall in particular, or do you have someone on each
We're,
wall?
I think no. I think we're like we have a hand on each other. You know, one person is leading, and each person has a hand on the shoulder of the person in front of them, so we don't get
Hang on.
separated.
New idea. We should bridge the gap and feel along the sides to see if we can actually
It's
see where
not.
the main tunnel is.
Ah, that's true.
It's not that wide of a tunnel, but you three couldn't stay linked and take up the whole width of the tunnel.
We could.
Like at least one of you would have to be disconnected. You
Well,
could not. Sorry.
we could still see where the main tunnel is a lot better that way. So I vote we do that where there's one on each side testing the tunnel, and then we announce whenever we find a gap.
So who's okay? So then, who is going to be feeling the walls? And this is actually important. Who is like which side is each person going to be on?
I'm thinking. How about if I'm in the middle?
You're
Not
our
sure
eyes
why.
and we feel on each side.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So I'll take the right, I guess.
Which
Okay.
means Cirrus is on the left, right?
Mhm.
Right, left, left, right.
Yep.
Is Sarissa with us? Or,
I think she's on her way back.
while you were figuring this out, she had to go do business in the woods.
Does a burglar? Oh, never mind.
Burglar. She's a minstrel.
Oh, sorry. I just gave voice to some things that I've been thinking about her.
It's okay. She's not here right
I
now.
haven't
You can
shared.
talk about her behind your
I haven't shared with anybody else.
We're now in Maven's mind.
Cutting over to Pineleaf, I guess, while we wait to see if Terry Adwin, the player, is
All right.
actually in the call. It's actually been quite a while since Carv has gone down this tunnel. You're starting to feel worried. Is there anything you'd like to do?
All right. First off, I will. How much noise has there been during this intervention? During this interval?
This intervention.
Not a whole,
Eh,
not a whole lot of noise.
not a whole lot of noise. So I didn't hear anything coming down from that area.
No, you haven't really heard anything at all.
All right.
So to recap, like from last time, you and Carv had sort of investigated like the first two tunnels, side
Right.
tunnels that you encountered from the main entrance, and so this is the third tunnel.
All right then. Let's see. I will first off try to. Ooh, this is. I presume that there is nothing that I could place the torch on that will keep it well, since we're in a cave here. I presume that if I put it down. Is this an active cave or an inactive cave?
Hold on, I have to look up these real-world geology terms.
While
Okay.
Brett is doing that, can
How
you guys hear me
wet
now?
is the cave?
Yeah, hear you.
Awesome. Thanks, Internet. You suck.
There she is.
Cave containing a running stream. Is that what you meant, Pineleaf?
No, what I mean is this a particularly humid cave? Because an active cave tends to be pretty humid, while a dead cave will be dry, bone dry.
Okay, it's a dead cave.
Okay.
It's pretty dry.
Okay. So therefore, because the idea there is to place the torch behind me and try to see if I can find a location where I could place the torch temporarily, because it was a wet cave. To
Oh, then
hard
if
to
you
find
put it down, it sputters out. Yeah.
Right.
Uh,
So the idea there is to put it behind me and see if I can get my eyes to adjust so I can look a little bit further down into the corridor.
you can set it down without it sputtering out. If you're just going to be like, don't leave it there and expect it to, come back a day later.
Yeah, it's just gonna be for a few moments to give myself a little time to adjust and see how far I can see down the corridor.
Yeah, sure.
And I guess a witch check or what?
Uh, yeah, I guess. There's not really a night vision skill.
Yeah, unfortunately there isn't. Okay, it's to say. Okay, what's
Okay. So yeah, you're surprised at actually how you feel a little bit better because you're surprised at how far the light from the torch actually carries down that tunnel. But it's a smaller tunnel, so like the walls they're closer to you, so they stay lit. And so yeah, so through the lit area, there's no real sign of Carve. If you go to the end and like peer down and listen. Actually, yeah. Give a it's at a disadvantage, but you can try giving a survival check to see if you can determine if.
Okay, see what I could determine with a survival check. Oh, this is going to be fun. I don't see a thing.
Yeah, you have no way of knowing.
All right, well then I will. Now, how long has it been? I know it's hard to tell. I don't exactly have perfect.
I would say, maybe like 10 minutes or so.
All right, how about
Yeah, long enough for you to get
back
worried.
to the other people for a while? Then, if Carv might be coming back in a few minutes.
So you're gonna go back to where you left the torch.
Yeah, I'll go back to where I left the torching. Go back to my post for now and listen carefully as I'm there. That'll probably be a while there.
Okay. So then, cutting back to the others. So, Terry Edwin, the player, did you hear any of the plan that?
Something about walking through the cave, spread out.
So someone.
Basically, we're going to have somebody on the right side and left side feeling along the wall, and May is going to be the eyes.
In the middle?
In the middle, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's a little too wide for us to reach all the way across in joint arms, I guess.
If only you had rope or something.
If only we had Carve in the group.
If only we had Carve.
I feel that's the episode title now.
If only we had Carve.
Okay,
so where is Carve?
So you proceed down the tunnel, and Sarissa's dragging her hand along the left wall, Ending's on the right wall, and Sarissa, you encounter the tunnel first. Or you feel a
an
like
opening?
a hole in the wall, an opening, yeah.
Okay.
What are you telling the others, or?
There's a tunnel off to the left here. I'm on the left, right?
Yes, and you do not feel an opening right now.
I say, can you tell how wide that tunnel is?
No.
Okay. Let's walk forward. Make sure that you're. I'm trying to think of how to do this properly. Can we at least kind of sort of see each other, or is it pitch black?
You can kind of see each other.
Okay.
As you go further, that will probably become more difficult.
Let's.
So should I like run forward back and forth, like side to side? So I like, okay, you're there, and you're there, and you're there, and you're there.
That's actually not a half bad idea. Let's
It's not
let's
half.
let's continue.
It's not half
We're
bad.
probably counting steps or something.
Yeah.
Let's continue
So need to make sure
forward
that we're
and
all,
try to
It's a bit
guide.
of Middle Earth.
Let's continue forward and try to guide Sarissa beyond this gap.
Okay, so
Never again am I going out with that carve. It's just not going to happen.
Without Pine Leaf is fine, but without Carve, it's
That's right. That's right. That's right.
It would have been
So-
super helpful to have Pine Leaf too, because Pine Leaf's probably got stuff to make
That's
torches.
true.
definitely
That's probably true. Yeah. Or she could at least, cook something for us.
her cooking show guide bag probably has all the stuff she needs.
Oh my gosh. She'd probably build a whole fire and everything.
Pineleaf doesn't have an inventory in Roll20, so I don't know immediately. Pineleaf doesn't have an inventory on
Well, that's
Google.
because
Google
I was
Sheets.
kidnapped at the start.
That is true.
We know that Pine
You
Leaf
could
at least has
probably
cooking
you could
supplies.
probably stock up on supplies in among the Aranon encampment.
GM pro tip.
If only you had not left in the middle of the night. Although in Pineleaf's case, wasn't really her choice now, was it? Okay, so just walking forward. Eventually, so Sarissa, there's a wall in front of you. Andang, the tunnel has begun to curve
On my side.
on your side. Yeah.
I have a wall back again.
It's pretty dark. Sorry, what was that?
I was telling them I have a wall back again.
Okay. This is like a wall in front of you, not like that you're feeling.
Oh, in front of me.
Right.
So it's
Well,
curving.
obviously the corner's got to be fairly close by, I would imagine, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you feel off to your right, then you do get to the edge of the tunnel.
Okay.
And it's not that much. It's probably like two of your, if you stretched out your arms.
So there's probably, if mine's curving, then it might be curving into another tunnel, in theory.
It could be curving into another tunnel, or the main tunnel might be curving. You're not sure. Really hard to tell.
Sarissa's made it to the other side of the tunnel path that we went past. Is her side curving? Sarissa, is your side curving?
Well, I would imagine so, since I almost smacked into a wall.
Then I guess we keep following this path.
There's a strange smell down this tunnel, Sarissa. You're not quite sure what it is, but it doesn't smell pleasant.
Okay, so obviously not the way we came.
Right, so if you're continuing down, following the curve of that tunnel,
Mm-hmm.
then Andang, you come next to an opening. You feel like it's a sharper edge. It's not just a curve. And Sarissa, you don't feel anything this time.
There's an edge here.
It's flat wall on my side.
I checked my friends list again.
I believe I hear carve. Do I hear carve? Oh my gosh! It's carve!
What have I been sleeping in?
Quiet, Carve, you're not with them right now.
Oh, and he's not in the opening that Andang just
That was
found.
the best.
No,
that was
he's
the
not.
best.
Oh,
It would be funny if he was, but he's not.
That's so good.
oh.
I just imagine when Carve logs in that just like a dwarf comes falling down from the sky.
We will get to Carve in a bit.
Oh, see now, listen. GM's all smug again.
Okay, let's get. Well, first of all, I checked my friends list, like I said.
Carv is online.
Carv's online.
Good to know he wasn't eaten by something horrible.
I
That's
sent a
good to know.
tell. I sent a tell to Carv, saying, "Where are you?" All caps.
What does that mean? I told you how tells work in this place. You just think about what you're. So you just like
Oh, you just-
thinking about.
Think about it.
That's,
You-
Where have you been?
that's
you
what I was
You're
thinking.
thinking about everything, all that you're gonna ask him the next time that you
Really, really loudly in my
Where the
mind.
heck were you? You were supposed to be at the cave entrance.
See.
I
Okay.
wasn't at the cave entrance.
Quiet, Carv. You're not with them right now. But yeah.
I don't even know where I'm at, to be completely
he's
honest.
thinking.
I'm still logging. The screen's got loading.
Yeah.
I just jumped into TeamSpeak.
But yeah, so you have no, when you were thinking about this about Pine Leaf, you were getting like these impressions. You don't get anything back from Carv.
He must not really be online yet. Okay, so present challenge. We're trying to get past this, and Sarissa try to guide us, and May go back and forth like we did earlier, and let's get past this.
You're here, and you're here, and you're here.
Okay. After a few steps, you feel another edge, and yeah, like the tunnel's been straight for this stretch.
Okay, let's keep going then, I guess.
Okay. Let's see. You hear vague chittering coming down this tunnel, and then
Oh, great. It's probably not our tunnel.
Well, the first thing I do is make sure that everybody else hears it. And if they don't,
no one
then
else really hears it.
I tell them. Okay, nobody else
I
hears
mean,
it.
sorry, I should have you ask it. But
Does anybody else hear that?
I would think I would hear it, but you said nobody else hears it, so I guess not.
I mean, if you want to try doing a wits check.
Because that's worked out
This,
so well.
this
so
is
far.
this is really more a proximity judgment, but if you're trying to listen,
I don't hear a thing.
Sarissa wouldn't hear a thing on the other side. But May might, so we'll see. Welcome back, Karth. Good to see you.
May, if you can roll wits.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, maybe roll wits.
Roll wits!
Psst, Carve, don't forget to log into Roll20.
Okay. Yeah, you hear it's very, very faint, but you can hear it coming from Anding's direction.
Let's keep going around that tunnel.
So as you continue down, everything's normal, and you see a light in the distance.
All of us, or May first, or how's this working?
I guess about the same time. It's a normal light,
Okay.
probably from a torch or something. It's being held pretty low to the ground, though.
I think we should start. I'm whispering this. I think we should start moving stealthy.
Uh-oh. I'll hear it from a mile away.
Are you rolling stealth again, Anding?
I say this to the rest of the party first and see what they think.
Saying what?
I think we should move stealthy ahead. There's
I
a light
always
ahead.
move stealthy. What are you talking about?
Okay, let's just be careful, a little bit more careful than normal. It continues again. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, so Pine Leaf, you hear, everything has been quiet, and then suddenly you just start hearing these heavy, just loud pounding steps on the cave floor. coming from the direction that you and Carv had been traveling from the cave mouth.
Oh, very well. I will move into the tunnel where Karvett went down. And, well, actually, what do I do with the torch? That's going to be the tricky bit. I'm going to put it out.
He's putting the torch out?
Is that what I heard?
No,
You
I'm
put
not
the
doing
torch out?
that! No, what I am going to... Okay, is there any good place to hide in this area?
So as you know, bringing the torch, so you're
Well,
moving into
I
the
will
tunnel.
obviously have to leave the torch on the ground or some other place because obviously holding the torch is not going to be
Yeah.
easy for me to hide.
There aren't any like large rocks that would completely hide the light from that direction nearby. If you
Oh.
bring it into the tunnel, it would be less visible from the main hall. There would still be some spillage. Are you going to actually step like into the tunnel? From where you
Well-
can see, there's nowhere to hide in there either.
Okay, no place to hide in the tunnel. Very well.
That you can see so far. If
Very
you
well.
go further into the tunnel, but then you'd be committing to bringing the light from inside.
Yeah,
from
very well.
outside.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to hide behind a rock then. The opposite direction from there to minimize the light and...
So you're gonna go further down the main tunnel in the direction away, looking for a rock item.
How? I thought you said there were some rocks nearby.
I said there are no rocks nearby.
Oh, no
At least
rocks. Oh, sorry.
None
sorry.
that are large enough for you to hide behind.
Okay, in that case, I am just going to... Obviously, it's not going to be very good as a place to hide, but I am just going to sneak into the other quarter and maybe get... Hopefully, I could hear something other than this boom. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out whether this is a troll coming or not. Hopefully, I could have some sense whether it's a troll or not before it reaches me.
So you're
Besides,
leaving the
trolls take
torch.
fire.
So what you could do is try leaving the torch outside and then going to just beyond the light spill into the tunnel.
Well, I was thinking of doing that. Now I think of it. I've heard rumors that trolls don't like fire, so therefore I'm going to keep the torch just in case.
Okay. But you're still going into the tunnel.
I am still going into the tunnel. Yes.
Okay.
Only
So,
a little bit.
All right. It's more of the same. You can't tell how far the tunnel's going to go.
Right.
Okay. The rest of you except for Carv, the light suddenly, as soon as you start being stealthy, the light gets a lot dimmer.
This is working, everybody. This is working.
But as you continue from the tunnel, you can see that the light seems to be coming from a third side tunnel on the left.
Oh, that's good. That's good, right?
So we can see now somewhat.
Yeah, just around that area. You
Let's
could probably
go towards that tunnel.
okay. But you're still being stealthy, I assume.
Very much so.
Still being
Very,
stealthy.
very much so.
Hey.
So finally, yeah, you hear the heavy footfalls coming, but like the ground isn't shaking.
All right.
yeah.
Very well.
You-
I better ready a javelin just in case.
Nice. I like what I'm hearing. Okay. Trying to think which order I want to start.
Can I tell that the light is very close nearby?
You're not at the entry to the tunnel yet. You can tell the light is coming from the tunnel.
Okay.
But
When
because
I can tell that the
because
light
the
is
opening
coming
is
close-
smaller, because the opening is smaller than the rest of it, that sort of restricts.
Right.
It all looks the same.
When I can tell that the light's really close, I'm going to draw my weapons. Just to be safe.
Good.
I'm
Finally,
gonna
for you,
reach
moving
out
in the
for
tunnel?
May so that we can hold back and let Andang go first.
Okay, so ending.
So
Okay.
sort of a silent hand signal. Let
And they
him go
call
first.
me the coward, yeah.
Champion
No,
has
this
heavy
isn't
armor.
cowardice. This is called being not stupid.
Champion has heavy armor. He's the closest thing to a tank you guys have.
But
right
I'm
now.
being stealthy.
Stealthy.
Uh-huh.
You know, given your role, that's given me the clarity on how to handle this. So, Andang, you step. Actually, no, that doesn't work physically. Never mind. Okay, yeah. So you step. I guess just you're just going face first into the tunnel mouth, or are you gonna try like?
No, no, no,
shooting
no,
over?
no, no. I'm just going towards the tunnel and will be drawing my weapons when I'm really close. I don't want to make any action yet without being able to investigate a
Okay.
little bit more.
Finally, if you hear a weapon being drawn.
A weapon being drawn. Okay. Well, and can I make a wits check to see if I can figure out what type of weapon it is?
Uh, you have swords, right, Andy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Blade being drawn is pretty distinct. Yeah.
All right. Since trolls don't traditionally use swords, I'm not going to do anything quickly.
Oh, so you're not gonna just say that as soon as you see something stepping into the cave mouth, you throw the javelin?
That is not the plan.
That's good.
All right. So ending. Yeah. So you have your sword drawn. Are you going to go into the tunnel?
Stealthily.
Okay. Pineleaf, you see the form of a man with sword drawn at the tunnel mouth.
Very well. And
And yeah, it looks like Andang. You're not that far in. You can tell who it is.
oh, hello there. I thought it
All
was
we
a troll
need.
approaching.
That's all we need is friendly fire, right?
So
Oh man, we should have had a witch check to see if you recognized him.
I actually want to do
Oh, yeah.
a wits check to make sure that Pineleaf's feet are hairy.
You know, I see Harry's feet in the
Yeah,
line.
you see.
He could be like a Bogart. You don't know.
Yeah, they're hairy feet, but I don't know what that
We
proves.
did run one.
Because the ghost thing didn't have hairy feet. Hey Pineleaf,
Hello.
what's going on? What's going on, buddy?
Oh, I'm just waiting for Karvett to come back.
Oh. Well, it's cool that I'm back,
Why are
right?
you stomping out? Why are you stomping all over the place?
Oh, I'm being stealthy.
You're not being stealthy as a
Telling
troll.
you, you're not stealthy. That is not stealth.
Oh, and that's Sarissa and May, in case you forgot. I forget if I'm away from people sometimes.
Yes. Anyway, Karvett is checking down the corridor because there might be a troll down there.
We went by the corridor and didn't see anybody, and we were kind of spanning the whole distance, so I think we would have seen Carve if that
No.
had happened.
You haven't been down this corridor yet.
Isn't this tunnel is what Pineleaf was saying.
Oh. Well, you need to be more specific, Pineleaf.
I thought she was plenty specific. At which point I turn to Pineleaf and say, I'm so sorry. We've not had sleep. This is what he's like when he doesn't have sleep.
Uh-huh.
He's like this all the time.
Anyway.
That's really all you have to
Karvett
say.
will get back soon.
I like how Pineleaf doesn't greet us. Like, really, he doesn't ask us where we've been. There's no
She-
interrogation. He just mentions the
He
car.
had a weird
She. Same thing.
Well, keep in mind also, Pineleaf just kind of mystically appeared in the tunnel with no warm or
Yeah.
reason, just kind of.
Pineleaf, how
Showed
come
up.
you're out of bed? I thought you were going to go to sleep. Did you get
I
to sleep
was
already?
waking
And
up.
you were woken up by what?
I haven't the slightest. I had some bad dreams, and I guess I must have wandered. I don't.
You were sleepwalking? Is that a thing that hobbits do?
The hobbits are very stealthy when they're sleep stealthing. Sleep sneaking.
Well, I've been through a lot lately, if you understand.
Well, we all have.
Yes, but I was sort of dragged into this.
Sort of dragged in.
I just look at
That sounds
Pineleaf
like
with a very doubting
fascinating story.
But anyway, Karvett went down that way because he believes there's a troll somewhere around in the area.
Well, we heard something pounding around outside, so I think there's maybe trolls out there.
I think he said something about there being one outside also, but can't remember all the details. Hopefully, Carv will get back soon.
Okay.
We should probably not just wait. How long has it been, Pineleaf?
Do I need a wits check to figure
It's
that
been
out?
like 15 minutes maybe. It hasn't been that long since the last time when you like dipped into the tunnel.
About 15 minutes then.
Oh, well, I'm sure he's fine.
How long does
The
the tunnel
confidence is
take you
overwhelming.
15 minutes to check it out?
Uh,
We should maybe probably go after him because we really need to go talk to
Oh,
Phil.
Fuel's mom.
Deanna.
yeah. Out of curiosity,
Deanna. Yeah.
how much time does this torch look like it'll last?
It has
Don't
been burning
ask
for
that.
quite a while,
Don't
hasn't
ask
it?
that.
It's burned through the night, so yeah, it actually did not think about that. Thank you, finally.
Never ask the GM questions like that.
That stinks. All the notes I put in here last week didn't say.
I guess yeah, it's I guess maybe it's starting to smoke. It's starting to reach the
Yeah, when you
end
put
again.
notes in there, Carv, you have to remember to click the save button at the bottom.
I thought I did. That stinks.
All right. Is anybody
If one of you had it open while he was doing it and then saved it after he did, it probably would have saved that instead. If that's maybe what happened. I don't check those notes. But so, okay. Carv, we're going to jump to you now. The long-awaited moment.
Okay, so what has happened since the last time I was actively playing? I've logged back in.
Yeah, so...
What happened?
so
I
basically
remember.
So what had happened was you came to the third tunnel where everyone's at right now, and it seemed to go a little bit farther down than the other ones did, and so you said you were going to go check it out. You left Pineleaf outside to stand guard.
Okay, because I remember the first tunnel had bats and the second tunnel had bugs, and so I'm guessing we're at the third tunnel from the cave mouth that leads
Right.
outside where we saw other trolls. So we're at the third cave now.
Mm-hmm. Or at least that's what I told the others. How you remember things is you stepped inside the tunnel to get a better sense of what was inside,
Mhm.
and you heard this voice from the tunnel, and it sounded like your father. And it said, "Karv, is that you, son?" Is that what your father said?
Really? That's what I remember about this tunnel. My father.
Oh my goodness.
Are you finally coming back into the tunnels after traipsing around under the trees like one of those beardless elves?
Okay, that's problematic. He's dead. This is kind of like axe at the ready. What the heck?
So, Axe at the ready, are you going to proceed further, or are you going to say anything?
Well, yeah. If it actually sounds, well, I'm gonna witch check first to see if it sounds like my dad, like based on what I remember, or what. Because I'm thinking white here.
Yeah, sounds like your father.
Okay. I've still got my axe ready, and I'm kind of curious. I'm creeping down to see what I hear, and I'm also alert to see if there's anything else that might be going on in here.
As you proceed down the tunnel, you notice that it's starting to get a little bit lighter up ahead. It looks like daylight filtering in.
What do I know? What time of day it is?
It's close to morning. It's like dawn sometime.
Okay, so it's
Actually,
logical.
hold on.
Then.
I should make you give me a vitality check
Okay.
to see how fatigued you are. Okay, you're holding up okay.
All right, because like if I can logically deduce that we've been in the tunnels long enough that the sun feels like it should be
Yeah.
coming up, I'm not wary of the fact that there's light down the tunnel.
Right.
I'm like, okay, that could be daylight. All right. Okay. So cautiously creeping, listening.
So as you just proceed down your father's voice is still calling to you, like, "Come, I have something to tell you, son. You've been gone for too long. Things have changed."
Wait a second, let me read my journal. I want to make sure.
Hold on,
this
Dad.
is
Let
what
me
I
read
think.
my journal about the trees and the elves and all.
No, wait. I gotta check my backstory because I'm pretty sure what I wrote doesn't jive with what's happening right now. That ain't it. That ain't it. I don't remember if I put it on this new version actually.
I didn't really put a place for backstory, I don't think.
No, my original backstory, my father was dead, and there was a very specific reason why he was dead.
I think I can actually pull that up.
It's actually under goals, his anchor. But I didn't actually specify that his father's dead, but that was the deal.
Oh.
Does that change what's happening right now?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Because I'm creeped out at this point.
Like I'm saying in the chat, this works out really well, actually. It's a complete accident. But
Okay. Well, since I don't know that Pine Leaf is reunited with everybody, because he's back there, or she rather, I'm gonna Well, dang it. Now, let me think about this. There's a voice from the past pretending to be my dad. So either it's an undead white of my father, which is something I don't want to mess with alone, but at the same token, it could very well be a situation where there's some kind of information that could happen. But, see, I don't really want to investigate an undead white because I'm not packing, to my knowledge, Westerness damaged gear. So this could be a situation where I could be in a real world of hurt. But on the same token, I do need to find out what's going on here because the rest of the party is kind of counting on me at least to kind of get an idea about the lay of the land.
So are we with him? Are we with him, Greymaster, or is he by himself?
no, this is like 15 minutes ago when he went into the tunnel.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we've got what appears to be daylight coming from ahead. I know for sure Pine Leaf is behind. I have no idea where the other three are. What does the cavern smell like? Does it smell fresh like air, or do we? What kind of check am I doing?
Give me a survival check.
Survival. Mostly mine. Okay, I'm survivaling checking.
Oops.
You can't really smell anything.
I don't smell anything. Okay. Okay, so
It smells like dank, musty cave.
it sounds like cave. Yeah. Not my favorite thing in the world. Wow, this is quite a quandary we've got here because once again, I have no information about what I'm facing, but I don't really have any information about what's behind. And though I need information, but I'm not prepared to handle this kind of situation. So what I really need to do is okay. So I've got my shield and I've got my axe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so at least that's something. I don't know how good it's going to do me against a disembodied voice or something, but it's something. Well, shoot, I thought my dad was killed during that thing that happened that one time. That was
no more details.
No, actually, I'm not. Okay. So I respond. If you are truly my father, tell me about what he saw in my mother, which isn't in the backstory. Ha!
This voice would know that.
Oh, GM's prerogative. All right. Still very wary, still very cautious.
Okay, so I guess we as the audience don't get to hear it, but the voice does respond with what the reason why what Carv's father saw in his mother.
He
In
was a
Carv's
good
mother.
dwarf. Had a particularly full beard. He liked beards. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna begin to make our way. Very much on full alert at this point, because now I'm more trying to find out what's going on, because I still need to know what's in this cave, and I see daylight, so that's something. So I'm gonna continue forward.
All right. As you step into the light, you see you're on this. You're in an open area suddenly, and it's like a polished stone floor almost. And there's daylight all around you. It's kind of cloudy. The air is kind of thin. As you look beyond like this circle of polished stone, you can actually see like the tops of trees beneath you. And it looks like there are statues kind of below. You can sort of see like a head facing away from you with an outstretched hand.
A statue of a head? Or an actual person, dwarf-looking thing?
I mean, judging by that you can see the tops of the trees, I misunderstood the question at first. It's wearing a helmet. Hard to tell.
There's a statue wearing a helmet. Do I see any people? Like any live critters, or is it all like statues and plateaus and stuff?
Yeah.
Nothing visible?
I mean, if you step further, I mean, right now I'm assuming you're where the tunnel ends, and this is what you see. If you step further out, you could see more over the edge.
Okay. Well, I kind of check around to make sure nothing's going to jump me, and then I kind of creep to get a better look.
Okay, so yeah, nothing jumps you. You're all alone on this sort of circular. It appears to be the top of a tower, and it's in the middle of a valley where the cliffs are all behind. As you turn around, you notice there's no more tunnel, and I think we all know what's happening here.
Hey.
They're just tall cliffs all around behind you, and just a valley in front of you that's filled with dying trees. The tower seems to be surrounded by statues of just tall figures, presumably men, and they seem to be geared in armor, and they're each holding a sword pointing downward with an outstretched hand.
Okay.
And sort of just in the distance, you can see like a storm brewing. There's lightning. You feel like waves of heat suddenly starting to, like a hot wind, just blowing in breaths upon you. And you hear the voice of your father again, saying, "I await you. Come find me."
Right. At this point, I realize I'm caught up in a vision or some kind of dream. And I'm like, okay, where's the cameras? Now what?
Who's punking me?
Carv not only doubts the party, he not only doubts but he also doubts the voice of his own father.
Boy, no kidding, huh? Yeah.
So as you say that, it's as if like the tower that you were standing on suddenly becomes immaterial, and you just feel yourself in free fall, and you land in a pool of water.
Wake up, Carv. Wake up. Wake up. Okay, so I'm wet.
Yes, so you're in this pool of water, and you seem to be inside a cave. There's an opening, and you can see like the flickering torchlight coming from one end.
Okay, so I'm in a cave full of water, and I see a torch. All right, does it look like there's a way I can, like, do I have to walk out of the water to get to the torch? Do I have to climb out of the water?
Oh, yeah, so from where the light is spilling, you can see the edge of the ground, and you can swim over and climb out.
All right, well, that sounds like a plan. Let's swim over and get out the water.
There's kind of like a lip to the pool.
Oh.
It's not just like a hole that's filled with water. It looks as though it was actually made.
Oh, so it looks like there's a man-made like cistern kind of a thing going on here?
Kind of.
Okay, all right. Do I see anything else that indicates presence of sentient beings?
What kind of beings?
Sentient? Any kind of recognizable critters, like I would recognize anything that looks like it was made versus just being a natural occurrence. As you said, there's a lip.
Sure. I'm trying to think if this would be beast lore or just a generic wits check. You can do whichever one.
I'll
give
just
you
do
appropriate
wits.
Okay.
I like using my wits to stay alive,
yeah,
but I'm
okay.
tired.
Well, yeah. If there potentially could be stuff like on the ceiling, you can't really see the ceiling, but you can see there's enough light to be able to tell that that pool is all there is in the cave. It's a very small cave.
Okay, well, I'm still a bit shaken up by that, whatever that was. So I just am kind of getting out of the water, still very wary, looking up, trying to figure out what's going on with the torchlight, and moving myself in that direction.
Important detail, your axe and your shield are not drawn. You still have them, but...
They're not drawn. Okay. Yeah. Alright, so whatever happened before I drew my weapons. Alright. Of course, swimming with axe and shield's a little bit trickier than usual, but okay. So, would the torchlight be in the direction I remember leaving Pine Leaf?
You've never been here before. How would you know?
Okay, so this cave is different than the one I went down earlier before we had our little trip to Namby Pamby.
I mean, you don't know. You don't.
I don't know where I am. That's great. Okay, well now I pull out my sword and my axe.
Okay.
Because I'm all kind of disoriented, which makes me even more trusting. And I begin to make my way towards the torchlight up the tunnel.
Yeah, it's actually once you get to the tunnel, it's a very you can see immediately. There's a hobbit holding the torch, and there's appear to be 2 men and an elf, or 2 humans and an elf. 1 man, 1 woman, and an elf. And they're talking about something. They seem to be talking about you actually as you get closer.
Hello.
Oh, hello, you're back.
So for the rest of you, this is immediate. This is like after your last conversation, so we're all on the same timeline.
Apparently, I'm wet.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Now
I just went somewhere.
we better get back to the rooms because this torch isn't going to last very long.
Works for me. Whatever. You're real, right? Seriously. You, Hobbit. When was the first time we met?
What?
When was the first time we met?
You mean when you snuck up behind me and grabbed me with a body bag?
Did I grab you with a body bag?
Oh. I wasn't looking at the time.
Okay. After the body bag incident, what was the first thing you saw?
Oh, now I have to have the player remember?
So when Pineleaf says she was dragged into this mess, she really means she was dragged into this mess?
I wasn't responsible for that. I just want to clarify. I just was involved. It was actually Terry Adwin, the impulsive champion, who did that. Thank you very much. Well,
no wonder you guys.
With the local constabulary because of some kind of a long-standing problem with the town mayor. I'm saying too much. Okay, let's move on.
Kidnapped Pineleaf?
Kidnap is a strong word. Forcible recruitment, I think, is a good term.
The local press gang, apparently.
Oh, we drafted her.
Well, I know there are some unusual ways to get into certain groups, so that's fine, I guess.
This definitely sounds like a story I need to hear later, like how you ended up sticking with these people.
I wonder
that is an excellent question.
All right, so I heard something about heading back to the camp with the hill folk.
Yeah.
We should probably do that.
Investigated. We located the campfire. We investigated. We have some news that needs to be shared.
That's great. I am cold and wet. I want a fire.
Not a story that I want to tell more than once.
Agreed.
Now, how cruel is our GM going to be?
Have any more ideas, Pineleaf?
I just
Well,
want to know.
considering I found my way out
I
here,
was just gonna say, so
I should be able to
I'm
find
gonna
my
be
way
actually
back.
generous. I'm gonna give you some player information. Your characters don't know, but so our closing scene will just be, we see we're sort of watching from the view of the pool, and we see like the retreating torchlight as you go back to the hill folk, and then like if this was a show, like the camera would sort of look at the pool, and there's actually like the reflection of like a hooded face looking into it. And then the hood just sort of looks away, and then seems to like peer intently into it. And then like a mist version of Karv sort of appears over the water, sort of similar to the translucent pine leaf that we saw last time. And then we just cut to black.
That's not good.
Right.
But the party's back together now.
Wow, what a miracle.
There was a translucent pine leaf. When was that?
Yeah.
It was before you logged back in.
Yeah.
Oh, someone's gonna have to fill me on that later.
You also missed my amazing stealthiness through the swamp, trudging through.
And we heard the voices of Terry Adwin, Raylinial, and Erthert. I did it.
Ooh, yeah, there's some sultry fit.
Yeah, there has been some weird mist stuff where this mist has been coming in.
Yeah,
and doing
given
weird
that
things.
we saw a ghostly pine leaf, we got the voices of them talking about fire, and Karv's father from who knows where. Something weird is happening. We're getting punked by some ghosts, I think.
And fun fact, Ghost Pine Leaf does not have hairy feet.
It was
Okay.
important for us to know that when we checked, we want to make sure he had hairy feet, the one we just saw.
Well, that would make sense because whoever's making these illusionary clones probably doesn't have full knowledge of whatever they're getting copies of.
Right.
Exactly.
I thought that the
Oh.
episode was over.
It is, but we're just kind of reminding everyone about how much stuff happened this week. So-
Recap. Okay, so you ever see a beardless dwarf that's pretending to be me? Not me. So you know, don't buy it if I say I got a haircut. Nope.
On that note, thank you everyone for joining us this week. We will be returning for our 15th episode in 2 weeks, so be on the lookout for that. And very excited to see what happens. This was a huge revelation for us players, and can't wait to see how our characters figure this out. But anyway, thank you.
So behind the scenes, I guess, just as a comment, if the audience is interested in knowing, basically what happened was after 2 sessions ago, when they rolled their critical fail at the very end, that was when I basically
Spoiler
went to
alert, real
develop.
quick, if people aren't wanting to know
I
these
guess it
details,
is.
but here we go.
I mean, it ended on a cliffhanger anyway, so.
Anyway, continue.
But yeah, so as after that session, when I was trying to figure out what exactly that was going to mean, that I started putting more meat on some of the other plot lines that I had going in. So I just, since the party was split into 3 groups, I basically just yoinked 2 of them and put Karv and Pineleaf into the midst of those 2. But now as the party's coming back together, they're starting to intertwining with each other and interacting. So that's why it's not all just about the Hillmen anymore.
Awesome.
It's not just about the Hillmen anymore.
So the next time you start following a random fire in the forest, just know that there might be a GM that could mess up the rest of the next 2 episodes for you with horrible, horrible events. And on that note, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye,
Or
everybody.
goodbye.
So long. Skirmishers